Forward and talk about the Indigenous contribution to the Canadian military.
Hello everyone. I'm honored to be here today to talk about the contributions of Indigenous veterans, especially since my great-grandfather, who was Indigenous, fought in the Second World War. As someone who's also Indigenous, this legacy means a lot to me, and I feel proud to share it with all of you. When we think about Indigenous contributions in the military, we sometimes forget just how important their unique skills were. Indigenous soldiers brought with them patience, stealth, and incredible marksmanship, skills they developed through generations of hunting and living off the land. One amazing example is Henry Louis Norwest, a Métis from Alberta. He was one of Canada's most skilled snipers during the First World War. With a record of 115 confirmed shots, he even received the military medal for his bravery. Stories like this show just how valuable Indigenous soldiers were to the armed forces. But the contributions of Indigenous people went way beyond the battlefield. Here in Canada, First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities also came together to support the war effort from home. They donated money, clothing, and food, and even allowed portions of their reserve lands to be used for building new airports, rifle ranges, and defense bases. Communities in Ontario, Manitoba, and British Columbia were even awarded the British Empire Medal to honor their efforts. Indigenous service is a proud part of Canada's history. While we don't know the exact numbers, it's estimated that around 12,000 Indigenous people served in the big conflicts of the 20th century, with at least 500 of them giving their lives. As someone with family ties to this history, I feel a deep sense of pride and gratitude. My great-grandfather, who is seen in the following clip, is like so many other Indigenous veterans who fought for the freedom we have today.
Sandy Julian, Alexander Julian, they called him Sandy. He was only probably 20, 21 when he went into the military. Back then, work was scarce. I think it was an opportunity for him to make some money and bring it back to his family. But I also think the warrior part of him wanted to make sure that war that was overseas wasn't going to come back here. You know, he did fight for our freedom. I get to hang around with him quite a bit growing up. We were close. I really loved my grandfather. He asked about going back. And I said, okay, let me see what we can do. So my grandfather, Sandy, got to go, and myself back to York. And my grandfather, he got to be in some of the places again that he fought. He was with his other veterans. It was great to see them all feel like they could share. They were like all brothers. He was able to actually say a prayer for Leo Cohn over his grave, and he say a prayer for Charles Doucette. Well, I think it was closure for him. We went to a place called the Dam Square in Amsterdam, and 100,000 people in one square cheering these guys on. It was amazing. And each cemetery, there's huge ceremonies. And once they found out he was Canadian, they were pretty excited about talking to him. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I saw these kids at a gate. These kids that were lined up on a parade. And I asked the kids, I said, how long you guys been here? And he says, we've been here since 7 o'clock. I said, to see the parade? He goes, yeah. They said, we want to see our heroes. These kids that are there didn't see the war, but their grandparents experienced all this. They considered them heroes. He'll never be forgotten. They really are our heroes. I want to share that with everybody.
Honoring him and other Indigenous veterans reminds us of the courage and sacrifice they showed, both on the front lines and at home. It's our duty to keep their stories alive and ensure that their contributions are remembered. Thank you for letting me share this, and thank you for remembering Canada's veterans.